One of the things that I can say about 2017 and tomorrow's State of Nation address is that it's the second last State of the Nation address by the President in this first term. I say first term assuming that he be re-elected for a second term. This particular State of the Nation address may not directly tie to the 2017 election, but obviously has some repercussions. Why I say this is because he still has one more State of the Nation address that he can use to campaign. This one, he has to use it to reassure his supporters that actually you gave me a job and I'm working and I'm giving my best to it. At the same time, he has to use it to show those who are not yet converted to be his supporters that, you see, you guys, I was given a job, I said I will work for all Kenyans, and this far is this is what I've achieved so far, and I have another 1.5 years to go before the next election, and probably you guys can give me a chance in the next election also. So it's for the State of Nation address is for him to pull back his troops as well as attract the opposition. In regards to 2017, he has to show that he has met at least even up to like 70% of his 2013 promises. That's the only way that he can convince both his supporters and the opposition that he deserves another term when it comes to 2017. I think one of the things that we expect to see from the president's speech is that he will dwell on the psyche of the nation. By this I mean he will dwell on the issues that Kenyans are talking about. He can't escape corruption, which was a major issue in the last speech, and where some action started being taken. So he'll have to appraise the country of the progress that has been made in fighting corruption. Secondly, he can't escape telling Kenyans how far have we gone with the projects that we have undertaken since the last time I gave a report of the State of the Nation. And one thing that we also need to understand is that as the State of the Nation address is a requirement, a constitutional requirement per Article 132. And he is supposed to give this report annually to show that the government, what the government has done and what it has achieved in ensuring that we achieve the national values and principles that are outlined in Article 10 of the Constitution. So it's not just about what the government, the development, the economic development agenda of the government, but also how has the government performed in terms of securing human rights, other issues of such as education, social protection. So all those things he needs to address them. In the last State of the Nation address, he didn't touch on each and every aspect of Article 10, and I think this time we should expect him to do it. He should touch on all the areas that are listed in Article 10 of the Constitution. And so some of the issues that I personally expect the president to address is the issue of the economy. Why are we not getting enough revenue? Because all these projects that he says the government has put in place cannot happen without money. But we know that the Treasury CS Rotich has already said we have not even gotten half what we should have gotten by now was about 1.2 trillion shillings. We've gotten 600 and something. So at the end of the day, why are we not making money? Secondly, another issue that the president must address is the issue of wastage in government, something that this government has run away from. Through all those speeches that we've had, every other time we hear the government saying we need to address wastage, but we still see high budgets set aside for local travel, foreign travel, hospitality. So he needs to address that. What is the government doing about that? The other issue that he has to address is the issue of cohesion and integration in the country. The country is still divided as it was in 2013. It is divided. The people who supported the opposition feel that this is not their government. The people who supported the government feel this is their government and they own it. So what has the government done to bridge the gap between the two groups? I think those three issues are critical for him to address. Personally, I believe that we've seen a lot of implementation of the various policies that the government has been saying it wants to put in place. Actually, I would give the government 7/10 in terms of implementation. But I think one of the issues that lacks in this government is the issue of communication. They wait until questions are asked for them to give the information. A proper proactive government should be able to feed the nation with progress reports of what is happening. Because when this doesn't happen, when you come and tell people later, you look like you have been put on your defense. But a lot of things are happening. A lot of these policies are being executed. But at the same time, we have a lot of them that have stalled. Basically because of the point I mentioned, lack of funding. Look at the medical the medical projects, the 8 billion shillings medical project. What we are seeing is a situation where only 6 so far have received the equipment. 6 of the 98 hospitals have received the equipment. Majorly because there is no money. The issue of roads, new roads, was delayed for over 1 year because there was no money. This is the time that now we are seeing the issue of roads happening. We've seen the issue of the SGR has proceeded well, basically because it's 90% is financed by donors, or rather we've gotten loans for that. So I think the government needs to sit back, look at all the projects, evaluate and see what can we deliver now and where does the money come from, and deliver that, instead of getting into so many projects where you don't know where the money is and where the money is coming from. I think that is one of the areas that Uhuru needs to work on, because the policies are interesting policies. You know, we have the issue of the stadiums. The money was set aside in this budget, but so far we haven't seen any action on it, because they are still looking for partners in terms of the private sector to come and work with them on such projects of the stadiums. The issue of the laptops, with just in the execution being done now. And when I go to the issue of laptops, I think it was poorly thought of. Whoever came up with the idea had not thought through of how to execute the idea. And that's why the delay of 3 years has happened, because they had to change or do we do laboratories? Do we now start a pilot project? And so at the end of the day, if it's not executed by June as they have promised, that's another blot in Uhuru's first term, and that towards the election he has to convince people that I wasn't wrong. And so the government has to sit down. They have to sit back, look at the projects all over again, lay them down and say, this one can be executed immediately, let's work on that. And there is money for it. This one, we need to look for more money. Let's hold on to it. And that way, in that manner, you are able to know what can happen and what cannot. On the issues of business environment, I think that one has greatly improved. The issue of the new laws, where when you want to register a company, you just need a single form where you can own a company if you are only one director. I think that helps in building building businesses. But in other areas, we still need to see a lot more being done.